Hello friend, this is Dr. Pankaj Kumar, your mentor, and for today's sessions we will be talking about male reproductive system, in which we will be discussing the different type of male reproductive organs. Okay, so first of all, let's see that what are the different male reproductive organs are present over there. So we know very well that the primary sexual organ is a pair of testes, right? And there is a secondary sexual organ, and that secondary sexual organ includes rete testis, followed by vasa efferentia, epididymis, then vasa deferens, ejaculatory duct, and urethra. You can see in this diagram, okay, you see this is a testis, right? From there the tube that is coming, that is what we call vasa deferens, and from vasa deferens, then here this is the ejaculatory duct that is coming along with the prostate gland and finally going through the urethra. Okay, so one by one we will discuss about all this organelle, right? First of all, let's talk about the testes. In the sections of testes and the spermatogenesis, we have already discussed in very detail, because we know very well these are paired, soft, smooth, pinkish and oval organ measuring to 4 to 5 centimeter in length, and it is present within the scrotum. Okay. Then we have a rete testis, because all the testes, that is all the seminiferous tubules, is going to communicate together to the rete testis. So that is a network of tubules in the mediastinum testis, right? And that carries sperm from the seminiferous tubules to the efferent ducts, right? The third one, what we call vasa efferentia. So it is the most convoluted tubules that lead from rete testis to the vasa deferens, and actually it builds the head of the epididymis, right? Then we have a epididymis. So it is a long, tightly coiled tube located along the superior and posterior margins of the testis. So what happens, immature sperms that have moved out of the testis, they complete their maturation as they move through the tube. So what, at the terminal part of this epididymis, what happens, that a mature sperms are actually being stored. Okay, so epididymis remains close contact with the testes and it descends with the testes in the scrotum. Okay, then we have a vasa deferens. Now joined to the epididymis is the vasa deferens. Okay, so it is a thick walled tube which transport sperm from the epididymis to the prostate gland, right, or rather to the ejaculatory duct, because basically it joins to the ejaculatory duct. Okay, so its terminal portion is swollen to form an ampulla, and the primary function of the vasa deferens is to transport the mature sperm and seminal viscera secretion to the urethra. That is the primary function of vasa deferens. Okay, finally there is the ejaculatory duct. So each vasa deferens at the ampulla joins the duct from the adjacent seminal vesicle to form short ejaculatory duct. Each ejaculatory duct passes through the prostate gland and finally they enter into the urethra. Okay, and what is urethra? Actually the urethra is a common organ between urinary as well as the genital tract. Okay, so it links the urinary bladder to the external urethral orifice at the tip of the penis, and the urethral serve as the tube down through which urine passes from the bladder. Okay, and also semen is ejaculated through it. So that is the very function of urethra. Okay, right. Now the penis, that is a urethra, continues in a muscular and tubular organ called penis, and the terminal part of shaft of penis is bulging and is what we call glans penis. Now what happens, the glans penis is covered by a skin what we call foreskin or purpose. The body of the penis is composed of 3 longitudinal cylindrical masses of erectile tissue. So these masses are the right and left corpora cavernosa and median corpus spongiosum, right? So these are the longitudinal cylindrical masses of erectile tissues. The external opening of penis is called penile or urethral meatus. The erection of penis is purely vascular phenomena and is controlled by autonomic nervous system. So what happens? It occurs due to increase of the blood supply due to dilation of the penile arteries, causing enlargement and hardening of the penis. That happens during the copulatory act, right? Finally, sperm. So you see the sperm can be divided into 3 parts, what we call head, midpiece and tail. In case of head, there is a tip portion what we call acrosome, right, that is made up of Golgi body. Then we have a nucleus, And then we have a midpiece. In case of midpiece, there are two things. One is the centriole, second is the mitochondria, right? And in the tail, what happens? There is a the tubulin protein is actually made, it constitute the tail, and in the tail, typically 9+2 arrangement is which is actually found in the typical eukaryotic cells, that is found over there, right? So this centriole is required to complete the meiotic division of the female gamete after fertilization, okay? And this midpiece mitochondria provides energy for the movement of the tail because they provide motility so that they can swim to the female gamete to effect the fertilizations, right? Now let's talk about some accessory glands that is present over there. One of the important is seminal vesicles. They secrete an alkaline fluid into vasa deferens, which neutralizes the acidity of the vagina. One of the most important thing is that this is the only place where fructose is formed, okay, and fructose provides energy for the sperm. Let me tell you that in a forensic studies, right, particularly in case of rape, this fructose is tested, okay, because in naturally is the source of fructose is only can be seminal vesicles, okay. The function of seminal vesicle is that it increases sperm's viability, right, stimulate female uterine contraction, and eventually it helps in the movement of the sperm, okay. Then we have a prosterate gland. Now it is unpaired and made up of 5 lobes in man. Each lobe open on prostatic urethra through a many fine apertures. It also secretes alkaline prostatic fluid, which is milky, thick, sticky and jelly-like. It makes 30% of the semen and helps in the sperm activation. The fluid increases the sperm motility as well as the viability, okay. There is one more gland, what we call bulbourethral gland or Cooper's gland. So it is situated in membranous part of urethra and opens into penile urethra. It secretes transparent, slim jelly-like fluid. It is slightly alkaline. And here also what happens, this fluid neutralizes the acidic condition of the urethra, which is actually caused by the urine, okay. So before ejaculation, so this is secreted and thereby it just makes the path basic to ensure the viability of the sperm. Okay. So semen, what is semen? Semen is nothing but these are sperm for accessory reproductive gland fluid. Volume is 3 to 4 milliliter, right? Normal sperm count is 20 to 120 million per milliliter, and if the number of sperm count is less than 20 million, then we say it is a oligospermia. Now what is azoospermia? That either absence or near absence of a sperm, what we call azoospermia, right? So that's all as far as the very structure of male reproductive organ is concerned, right? Thank you.